and they are listening to some idiot from Turkey, a mortuary attendant, who is, because he has nobody to talk to, they are only dead people. So he has all the time, his customers can't talk. So for him, he has all the time to tell you. The other day I saw him announcing the next people who are going to die violently. Norbert Mao, Chief Justice Owindolo, and he listed, and you citizens are there paying attention. Okay, one day I will die, but it is my duty to defend myself and to make sure I do my best. When it happens, it happens. But now, for me, I'm actually more worried about you, the citizens. You have allowed these people to live in your brains for nothing. Please, let's deal with this. So why are citizens not here? You people of the manifesto, why are you not here? Next time Ministry of Education is going to be here, you are being overcharged fees. Why are you not filling this conference room? This is your opportunity. Tomorrow, Ministry of Health will be here. These nurses who have been demonstrating, the doctors, they will not be here. I would have loved them to hire Kamunyes and come in their gowns and just occupy that entire place. What a better demonstration that would be. So, I think we need a new civic culture in this country, where citizens can realize that, you know what, we can hold people accountable. Not only government, even private sector. The other day I saw a lady quarreling in a bank. She had finished paying her loan, but they are refusing to return her land title to her. Now what do? That one should be when the Ministry of Finance is here. Hopefully the Governor Bank of Uganda will be here. And citizens will be saying, banks are overcharging us. When we go for a loan, you get this, you get this, you get this. Don't we have a government? You are being sold fake drugs in pharmacies. Why are you not here to mention the names of the pharmacies? So, to use a famous phrase, mwebereremo. We fight for you, but also fight for yourselves. It is important. I thought I should state that because it pains me to see citizens who are allowing to be diverted. You will be told tomorrow that there's agricultural credit facility in these banks. When Ministry of Agriculture is here, I don't know whether they are finished or not. Why aren't all the farmers groups here asking? Why is the Ministry of Agriculture accrediting fake seed companies? You should be here dealing with those issues. Because you don't have any other government. So, I want to admit that corruption has to be fought by a network, because corruption has a network. It takes a network to defeat a network. Just like it takes an army to defeat an army. You don't fight it as an individual. My brother, Honorable Eddie Kwizera, Brother Willis Bashasha, for your observations. The purpose of this interaction is not that we conclude everything here. We are also supposed to listen and take homework. And homework is not done from the classroom. So some of the things you have talked about are homework. So we are going to take the homework, and you will see that we have worked on them. The comments by the monitoring and implementation desk are very important. We definitely have cases of corruption at the Ministry of Justice, but we don't handle as much money as the other agencies. nobody files cases with us. There have been some reports. For instance, we have one officer who, I think the PS is considering dismissing. This is from the Administrator General's office. When people die and the families are fighting, then the Administrator General is the one who becomes the firefighter. In this case, there's one of our officers who was instead meddling with the estate, benefiting unfairly. And estates are big, by the way, in this country. You know, however rich you are, one day you'll die. And when you die, your estate can be at risk. That applies to all of us. So there have been those cases. The other one is driven externally. There are people who come masquerading with State House letterheads, claiming they are going to help citizens to chase their compensation from Attorney General's chambers. Those we have chased them away. We have told them, you can go and tell whoever has sent you that no citizen needs a third party to chase their compensation. We have judgments from the court, and when the court orders the government to pay, it is our duty to schedule the payment. We don't make the payment ourselves. And most of the payments are now paid by the agencies. For instance, when you sue the police for beating you up or torturing you, the money is taken from the police. We are just a processing center. There have been cases where, I think in one particular case, somebody was supposed to be paid. Of course, not paid by us, because payments are made by Ministry of Finance usually. Now, it is reported that one of our own staff became too enthusiastic in monitoring how the payment was going. E.g., calling the person and telling them, by the way, your payment has been approved. I think it is going to be in your account anytime. So basically becoming a shareholder in somebody's money, which I understand is a problem. Unknown to this official, this person who was being paid had a relative who is a High Court judge. So this person went and told the High Court judge that I have an official at the ministry who now wants to meet me at the bank to get a share of my money. What should I do? So the High Court judge said, oh, okay. Tell him that you are very far away, you are up country, but your brother who lives in Kampala is the one who is going to pick the money. And now, please deal with my brother who lives in Kampala. So this official calls the brother who is a High Court judge and says, I'm so and so. And the High Court judge says, yes, I've been told about you by my brother. He says we are supposed to meet at the bank. Says, yes, you know, we agreed that I should receive this amount of money. So this High Court judge says, yeah, I'm Justice so and so, let's meet at the bank. Of course, the deal collapsed in one heap. Now, those games are played in town, and they are played in town simply because some people assume that if government is paying you, just for doing their job, they now become shareholders in your payment. I'll tell you my personal experience. This has nothing to do with compensation. One day I was up country and I asked a friend of mine to lend me money because I had run out of money, not even money to buy fuel. So this friend of mine went to deposit the money at a mobile money service center. He sent somebody else. Now, having a name which is well known for very many years, this person thought that maybe I'm just receiving free money. Can you imagine that a mobile money operator called me and said, "Mpaku sente"? I was in shock. My father taught me that you work for money. So I asked her, and why should I give you money? Said, "You know, you people, you get free money. So you share with us also." I said, "Madam, if you were a bit more polite, I think I would have considered at least giving you some money, assuming I'm impressed, as a tip for good service. But that's my choice. You can't demand it." So we have those kind of things happening in this town. Then, of course, we have I'm sure all of you have been called by conmen who tell you to press some digits on your phone so that your phone is not locked by UCC and so on. I don't know why UCC is not sending announcements to save citizens from these crooks. Of course, for me, when they call me, I start a long conversation with them. So we had a 15-minute conversation with 3 people. They are telling me, press this, press that. But I think one of them was an amateur. The other one was now a person who was knowledgeable. So he saw my name. And he said, "President Mao, tuwe kusente, tuli bafere." So we have these games going on in this city. Apparently, they have an app which they can use to monitor which mobile money accounts have some reasonable amount of money. I had about 600,000 on my account, and that was considered a good target by them. So they told me, "We can see that you have this amount of money. Please press this code so that your line is not blocked. If you don't press this code, your line is going to be blocked." So I told them, "I'm actually right opposite the UCC office. Tell me your name so that I can come and see you." They switched off the phone. The point I'm making is that the battle against corruption needs a 360 degrees fight. And there's petty corruption and there's grand corruption. Now, the one which we fear at the ministry is the one I've talked to you about. For instance, if somebody is receiving compensation for cattle, the official in the ministry would want the person receiving the compensation to feel as if it is a favor. And therefore you feel, the moment you are called to receive your money, you start feeling like you owe somebody money. So it is the duty of the government to disinfect the minds of the citizens, to know that this is a service, that the government officials are there. We have had reports of the president sending magugo, and part of it is stolen. I hope people know that in African culture, eating magugo is a curse. How can you eat money for funeral expenses? But we hear those stories. The president has also said publicly that people pretend that they can take people to meet him. Because NASA Road can manufacture IDs, so somebody can show you a State House ID and say, "By the way, these days, I'm in charge of making appointments. Do you want to meet the president?" So investors are being conned. Crooks are positioning themselves as experts on how investors can access Uganda. And this to me, Mr. Bashasha, as you fight to implement the manifesto, that is what we should target. And nobody should be spared, whether you're a member of the first family, whether you're what. Uganda is not a private limited company. It is for the citizens of Uganda. So, to me, that is the approach we need to take if we are serious. But if I have a child and he's called Mao, That's not a qualification. Being called Mao is not a qualification. It is just my genes. So if you, Mr. Bashasha, you are serious, we must start talking about how a government can be diverted and it no longer serves the people. At least at the Ministry of Justice, corruption is not to the extent that you hear in other ministries. We are very tough. Also, we have fought leakage. Have you had any document leaking from the Ministry of Justice? Nothing. State House is leaking. Office of the Prime Minister is leaking. Parliament leaks. Leakage everywhere. Ministry of Finance leaks. UPDF leaks. We must deal with leakage. Which government can operate if it doesn't have secrets? Sometimes you find a letter has been written before even the recipient has got a copy. It is already in Nile Post. So I think I didn't want to comment about corruption in a very narrow sense. I just want citizens to, first of all, start believing that this is their country. And that governments come and go. And a government that wants to stay does what you are doing here. Because if you don't do it, you are going to be evicted. A government must continue earning the trust of the people and maintaining that trust. So what you are doing here is very good. Of course, I have a conflict of interest because I lead a political party. Now, even though I lead a political party, now we are in the convoy. We are following the bus, but we are in our own vehicle. and we have an interest in maintaining that trajectory. That is the interest that I have got to declare here. But fighting corruption takes developing a critical mass, and we have got a duty to do it. Now, corruption has drivers. There are people who offer money to our officers in the Ministry of Justice. Please assist me, I will give you something. And everybody is tempted. Even Jesus was tempted, you remember. But being a son of God, he had a stronger capacity. So there are people who offer money. There are also investors who offer money to see the president. So these are things which we have got to tackle from the source. Now, the proposal for environmental courts, I think my own personal view is that we don't need a complete division for the environment. But environmental cases can be absorbed in the other systems. It is not as simple as having environmental police or wildlife police or land police. A court is a very serious operation. So I personally would encourage people to file environmental cases, but I don't believe that we need a separate court division for the environment. Land fraud also has its drivers, and I think what drives the civil service kind of fraud in land office is this somebody feeling like an ayatollah in an office. You know, long ago we used to have a lady there in the Ministry of Justice who apparently was so powerful that was untouchable. I understand eventually she was touched. So I think these people who have created fiefdoms, or what we call thiefdoms in certain ministries, they are a constant source of frustration to citizens. I had to deal with a case recently. People went and filed a caveat, and an official in the Ministry of Lands refused to lodge the caveat. Can you imagine? How do you refuse to lodge a caveat? We even hear that Citizens bring letters to ministries and somebody says, I'm not going to receive. When you say, please stamp that you have received, no, I'm not going to receive. How do you refuse to receive a letter from a citizen? These are some of the things we have got to deal with. A mindset, it is a mindset problem. And then, to be fair to the civil servants, when they are implementing the law, people think they are delaying because they want something. When I was chairman LC5, there was a man who was constructing a shopping center. Those who know Gulu, you know Sinabel, where Sinabel supermarket is. It is very popular for people from Kampala. For the locals, it is a bit very expensive. So, it is a wetland. And you can build on a wetland, but you must have an environmental impact assessment report. You must even have an environmental monitoring plan, which is monitored by the local government. This fellow ignored everything. He had an environmental impact assessment, but the monitoring plan, he ignored it. He was just beginning to build without complying. So I sent for him, because for me, as a local government leader, I believed in being very proactive. He refused. So I sent police to stop him. So the police stopped him. One evening, he sent somebody to visit me with an envelope containing 3 million shillings, saying that the boss says you seem to be unhappy with this project. And the boss really wants you to understand. So the envelope was supposed to be an explanation of his situation. I sent my bodyguards to arrest him. So they went and arrested him and brought him. So I warned him. I told him, by the way, I need this money. I want, first of all, you to be clear, to know that I need this money. But I'm not going to take it, because the reason I'm stopping your project is not because I need money from you. The reason I'm stopping this project is because you are not complying with the law. There's a minimum number of tons of maram you are supposed to compact on that surface before you can start construction. Now please leave my office and obey the law. The meeting was between me and our environment officer and one of the people from the COW's office. So we have got those kind of attitude problems. How do we deal with it? We must deal with it by being efficient.